Okay, so welcome. I'm Kimberley Lovell from kimberleylovell.com, and I really wanted to connect and to play with you, really, to invite you to play and to come together and collaborate and create our greatest future. So it might seem like a really funny time of year to be doing a Create Your Greatest Future, and you may not think it's New Year, but if you're following the moon, or if you're following energetically, you may have sensed that rather than being kind of like all systems go in the new year, it was still the energy of like, when are we gonna birth, right? It's like there's been this kind of pregnant energy where we've kind of felt almost like something's going on, we're not quite sure what, and maybe we can't kind of move forward as much as we'd like to, and it kind of wasn't the right time. So just a little background on that, if you haven't been on the newsletter. Really what happened is 2019 we had a 13th lunar month. Okay, so now is actually New Year, right? I mean, our calendars have been changed, and so we're following the moons. We're now in the new year. We're in the energy of the new year. We've just had a Larue ceremony, and so energetically the Stargate portals are kind of coming online. We've got new energies coming in with 2020. We are in, you've probably seen the 2020 vision, right? What would it take to have 2020 vision or greater? So 2020 is a 4-year numerologically. It's about foundations, and we're creating new foundations, new energies on the earth. We're moving into the so-called golden age in terms of really anchoring that on the earth, on the planet, and of course our bodies are also connected with the earth and with the planet. So many of you, if like me you are sensitive and empathic, you may well have been feeling this in your body in various ways. I know many of my clients and students have been, and so sometimes it can be a little bit stressful on our bodies. Okay, so I just tonight I want to give you a few tips in terms of how you can be with the energies, how you can create your reality rather than being at the impact of whatever else is going on around you, whether that is the planetary energies or whether that's other people, whatever's going on. So what would it be like to be able to create your reality rather than the reality that you think you have to create, or you think this is what's possible for me? So I'm going to be sharing some questions with you this evening. What my aim is to do this evening is to clear and release 2019, which you may or may not think that you've already done, or you may or may not have done it, and to kind of have that space so that we can have our vision and we can look and we can see what is possible, not only for ourselves but also for the planet, right? So just take a breath. Let's be here, be present. Let's just connect in. So just take a breath, close your eyes if you wish or not, and just maybe place your hand on your heart. And so just coming into our hearts and allowing ourselves to just be present. And when I say just, it's so powerful for us to be present, to be in our hearts, to be able to be with ourselves and to be with one another. And I'm so grateful that you're joining me this evening, that we're coming together in this way. So let's just send a little love out through our heart. Energy of the heart is so powerful. It's fantastic for manifesting and creating coherence within our physical body, within our being, and also to be able to ground that on the planet. So what would it take for us to be in our hearts at all times, right? And to have that beautiful peace and love, that feeling of connection with Mother Earth, connection with ourselves and with one another, so there's no separation. People talk about ascension, evolution, we talk about heaven and earth, and it's all here now. There's no separation. So, okay, so I hope you're feeling what I'm feeling. See how much power that we have to change just in an instant, just by coming into our hearts and being present and feeling our connection with everything that is. So the trees, the earth, the heavens, brothers and sisters around the entire world, and our brothers and sisters throughout the galaxies, right? We're multi-dimensional beings. So that feels just so much more relaxed. So as we let go of whatever it is that, you know, has gone on in order for us to be here, and this is what we're going to do with 2019. So my question to you is, truth, how much of 2019 are you still carrying with you? Yeah. And you might notice when I ask a question, you might notice if it feels light, which means that there's truth there, or if it feels heavy, which means, you know, that it's not a truth for you. Or sometimes when it's heavy, the energy is heavy, it can be that, you know, there's more awareness needed. It can be that we have points of view or beliefs and so forth, energies that are obscuring our awareness. So yeah, I've been doing tax returns today. Good old tax returns. And so, you know, I'm looking at the year before, and so, you know, I'm definitely aware of that energy of, like, as I'm even doing that, what am I, you know, how can I go forward with that? So everything that you've brought forward from 2019, would you be willing to let all of that go now? Yeah, good. So through all time, space, dimension, and reality, let's just allow that to release, to dissipate. And you may feel the energy shifting within you or around you. And I'm going to use some different clearings. So I use the Access Consciousness Clearing tool. So I may use the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement if you're not familiar with it. You can go to theclearingstatement.com to find clearing statement. But it's good and bad, right and wrong, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. It sounds like complete gobbledygook. It's like a magic wand. And it is clearing through all time, space, dimension, and reality. So sometimes I'll use that. Sometimes I'll clear artist as creator to clear that. So how was 2019 for you? Good, bad, indifferent, up and down, right? So, you know, like when you think about 2019, did I say the right year? 2019, if you think about 2019, like what jumps out for you? There may be memories or energies, or that could be, you know, things that you think that was amazing, and there are things that not so amazing, or things that were absolute yuck. Yeah. So everything that's jumping out, okay, whether it's good or bad, because there is no good or bad, but, you know, if you feel that it was great, sometimes people think they want to hang on to that because it was a good memory, and then they'll use that. And when we do that, what happens is we can't kind of go beyond it. It's almost like we're referencing ourselves based on our past, okay? So would you be willing to let go of even those good bits, or maybe the amazing parts that you think, that's amazing, right? And you can't get any better than that, right? So things can always get better, all right? What else is possible? So when we say, I ask that question sometimes, you know, how does it get better than that? And people reply on Facebook. So yeah, if I say, how does it get better than that? Sometimes people put, it doesn't, right? And when we say that, what happens is we actually stop ourselves, okay? So we can't create beyond it. So what would it be like if you could actually out-create 2019, however it was, right? And what is truly possible for us for 2020 and beyond, okay? So all of the decisions, the judgments, the computations, and the conclusions that you have around 2019, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it? Times a gazillion. So good and bad, right and wrong, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So how many projections and expectations do you have about 2020? Has anybody actually made their goals, their visions, got a vision board up? I don't know how you do things these days. I used to do a lot of that, right? I don't tend to do it anymore now. I'm kind of really into like, what are the energies that I want to be working with and enjoying in 2020 or now, you know? So everything is energy. You might have goals, you know, and there's not like a right or a wrong. And I also do have goals and in different areas of my life and my business. So just being mindful that when we set a goal, it's like if we miss it, then we usually kind of feel like we failed. All right. So you may have some of that around 2019, you know. So everywhere you feel that you failed or that 2019 wasn't such a great year, and you could have done better and you should have done better and everything that is, can we just try and uncreate all of that times a gazillion? Good, bad, right, wrong, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyond. So what if you had no reference points? That's kind of like a really interesting place to be, actually. I noticed myself that part of this energy of kind of, and it was also collective energy, but part of this energy of feeling like there's something new coming, but I'm not quite sure what it is yet, and maybe like feeling just a bit weird. Because part of that was actually having lost some reference points, and it was kind of like, I'm not sure who I am or where I am or how we're moving forward. Yeah. So, but that is totally being in the question, having no judgments and no conclusions, right? And that is where you have the biggest choice of possibility. Yeah, that's where we're opening the door. So it's creating a space that we can be or do or have, you know, whatever it is that we want to have, be or do, right? It's that beautiful blank canvas to create on. So we're all amazing creators, and even if you've created, you know, the biggest pile of poo, that just means that you're an amazing creator, right? So what else is possible with that? If you've been beating yourself up for whatever rubbish you feel like you've created, we're usually learning from everything we create, okay? So there's always a gift and a blessing. So what if you could actually receive and acknowledge the gift and the blessing, which then means that the universe will bring you more gifts and blessings, and just let that go now. You know, all the judgment that you have of yourself and the judgment that you have of, you know, your entire past, your all of your creations, your money flows, your relationships, your business, you know, your house, whatever it is. So when we have these visions and dreams for what we want to create and how we want to, usually it's kind of like we want to improve or add to our life. You know, we want to be upgrading, up leveling, and having more fun, having more peace in our lives, you know, more harmony, all of that. We often in that space of, would we want this, but we don't have it at the moment. So just going to tell you a little secret about wants and needs, and desires as well, in a way, right? Because actually, if we're wanting something, what that means is we're saying that we don't have it. Okay, so when we're telling the universe, you know, I lack money, or I want this bigger house, or I want this amazing relationship, what we're actually doing is we're saying we lack it. And as we're saying that we lack it, we put ourselves in separation to what it is that we want. Am I making any sense? Good. Okay. So what if you didn't have needs or desires? All right. And of course, you know, there are things that we want, right? Things that we'd like to create in our lives. So just be mindful of using that language, you know, the word want, the word need, or, you know, you desire that, because it's like we can go on and on desiring. And Dee, can you mute yourself, please, darling? Okay, thank you. So, yeah, we can go on and on with these things, and that's not a bad thing, because we're creating more, right? And where it kind of gets a little bit tricky is if we're being in the space of, like, you know, we're not satisfied or we're not very happy because we want to create this and we haven't done it yet and we're making ourselves wrong for it, then we're putting ourselves in like a lower vibration. In order for us to create or manifest, in Access we say actualize. If you want to actualize something in the world, you need to be a vibrational match to the frequency of what it is you're wanting to create. If you're wanting to, let's say you want to create a bigger home, for example, you could look at what are the emotions that you're going to feel when you have that. Okay, if you want to create more money, or you want to create a better relationship, what will you feel when you have that? You might be doing some clearing there, Kristen. If I yawn, I don't tend to do it so much nowadays when I'm clearing, but sometimes. But often when I'm clearing, the energy of yawning is when we're actually clearing all the unconscious stuff, all the beliefs and the thoughts and so forth. All right, so don't go to sleep, but it's fine to yawn. So yeah, we want to be a vibrational match. So for example, I've been doing a lot of upgrading with my home. We've had lots of floors up and 4 different rooms decorated. It's been really chaotic and noisy. And then now I'm like, oh, it's lovely. Feels, so different. And I can literally, I'm like really sensitive to my surroundings, right? So it's like, oh, that's much better. Yeah, I feel like lifted. So what you have to be is you have to be that energy that you will be when you have it, right? And then you're closing the gap between now and your future when you have what you want, right? So what energy, space and consciousness can you and your body be to be as joyful and fill in the blank. What's the word that you would use? Because I think we've probably all got different words. So I would say as joyful and excited, because I like to feel excited. So as joyful and excited as I truly be. Yeah. What energy, space and consciousness can you and your body be to be as blank as you truly be? And everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, pod and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So if you were being happy and excited, what would you be doing? How would you be being? And if you can be that now, then you are at that vibration and that frequency, and then you will start attracting and continuing in that field of joy and excitement, or whatever it is, that vibration that you're being. So often people get caught up in the goal and wanting what it is they think they want, because they want that because that will give them happiness, or that will give them peace of mind, or whatever it is, right? Often that's not true. You can have that and then there'll be another thing that you want, and you'll find that when you get there and you've got that, actually it's all an inside job, right? That's what I'm saying. So in the first 20 seconds or whatever, when we just actually closed our eyes and went into our hearts, your energy probably already lifted. Okay, and it is as easy as that. It can be as easy as that. Somebody asked me the other day about they said, oh, I feel like I've lost my ability to connect like with a high vibration, and I kind of just I kind of feel like I can't get up there. I'm kind of down here somewhere. So I said, well, all you have to do is you have to just go, ah. And when you do that, you'll feel like you're up there, right? Rather than, oh. It might sound crazy, right? But try it, play with it. We take everything so seriously. So yeah, and often it's really interesting because often I wouldn't come online and be silly. I'd be more serious, and I'd be doing things properly and be a perfectionist and whatever. It's like I've completely messed things up today, with kind of like, I don't know, these letters and details and whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Because as long as we be in the moment, and as long as we are creating without all the judgment, it doesn't matter. We're free. So when you have judgments of yourself, that you did it wrong, that you should have done it better, that it's not perfect, it's not good enough, etc., etc., what happens is you're closing down this door of possibilities, right? So how kind are you willing to be with yourself? Are you kind to yourself? Mostly, or not? Mostly, I'm lip reading. Well, telepathic as well, but I'll lip read. Okay, so yeah, so mostly kind. And so, like, what would it be like if you were your best friend with yourself? That you never judged yourself, like you look in the mirror and you think you're beautiful, rather than seeing any wrinkles that you might have, right? Or rather than seeing, you know, maybe a few extra pounds or whatever. So what if you could have that always? Like, what would it take? And you might be thinking that it's not possible. What if it was possible? What would your life be like? Just get a sense of the energy of that, like no judgment of you. That you can be kind to you, that you're not beating yourself up, you're not, like, you can be happy with you. And in that space, like, I get a sense then of like coming back to the heart. It's like, yeah, relax, everything's okay. And from that energy, then anything is possible. We can create. It's like that blank canvas again, yeah? All the time that we get caught up in the angst, then we're just creating more angst, yeah? Okay, so what would you like in 2020? I wonder if I can see anything in the chat. I don't want to change. Let's click down here. I wonder if the chat's then going to come up on the video. Probably. Maybe I won't. Let's open up. So those that are hiding. Oh, good. Okay, so somebody's put in the chat. Let's see. Kristen wants to quit classes. Fantastic. So what stops you? Shall I unmute you? Let me unmute you. Let's go for it. Unmute. There we go. Time delay.
I've unmuted me.
Yay!
Yay. Yes, what stops me? Honestly, I really don't know. And that's the only answer you're never supposed to say in Access. So.
Oh, anytime, right? Because we know that's rubbish. You do know. So if you did know, what stops you?
Know.
Yeah, what stops you?
What stops me? Maybe lack of self-confidence.
Okay.
I think I can't do it. I tried to have a body process classes and nobody showed up.
Oh, how does it get better than that? Did you show up for the class? Did you show up?
Yes, I did. Yes.
And did you have a body process?
Yes, a friend of mine who's also doing
Fantastic
bars classes. She came and we swapped bars.
So okay, so I suspect that if I asked you to think about it, you would come up with reasons why that happened. You know.
Yes, of course.
Like maybe you don't know enough people, or you don't have an email list, or blah 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 blah. Okay. So all of the reasons that we come up with are justifications and basically bullshit, right? So they're just the stories, and so
there are too few people where I live.
Oh, okay. Interesting point of view, right?
Yes.
So, and you know, I'm laughing because, like, it's not like I don't have my own interesting points of view and my own bullshit. Okay, so the idea is that not that we're like, well, we are perfect as we are, but you know, it's remembering to use these tools, whatever modality it is that we're using. Yeah, often we've got knowledge. You know, maybe you haven't heard of some of these tools. That's cool. But it's like there are certain things that we know. So you could come up with a whole load of things, right, which we know are just rubbish. So we could clear those, all right, we will in a minute. But what I want to know is what would be different if, you know, you were having your classes. Because it's not actually that you're not creating them, because you did create a class, right?
Yes.
So what would be different?
I can just try again.
Well, you know what Yoda says about trying, right? It's like do or do not. There is no try.
I mean, put up setup classes, both body process classes and bars classes.
Yeah. So when you're creating, we're energetic creators. Okay. So if you're on this call, you're probably not normal. All right. And you might love to hear that, right? Because who wants to be normal? Well, maybe you do. And everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate all of that. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, parkour, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah. So most of you are, like unicorns. You're kind of, you might be starseed, you might have some other name you call yourself, but whatever. It's like, we're not normal, okay? We're energetic creators. And so, you might have 101 ideas. Like, my brain's been on fire today with all kinds of downloads and stuff going on. I'm like, oh, that's exciting. And I can't possibly do all of it, right? But sometimes when we're creating, I know for me, sometimes it's like, if I get too much detail, it's almost like it's already happened. Yeah. And so sometimes even the fact that you put a class up, right, in your head and energetically, you've already seen it happen. People have shown up, you've done the class, and it's, do you know what I mean? So a good way to work with that is to use the energy pools. Do you even do energy pools? Yeah. So do the energy pools, and also pod and pock all of your beliefs about, when you're kind of putting this out there. If you've got stuff like, oh, I don't know who will come, what if nobody turns up, or there aren't so many people around here that are interested, or people got no money, or whatever the stories are, okay? And actually, you could have people come from other countries to your class, okay? I frequently have that happen. Always have. It's interesting because I have more people coming a long way to come and train with me than local people. I do have local people, but it's just so interesting. I'm like, my God, these people are coming like all these places and other countries at times. And it's like, how interesting is that? That's obviously my pattern and something, I kind of know roughly what that's about. But, I'm working with it. And so it's like knowing those patterns that we have, knowing those beliefs and clearing those so that we can create something different. Yeah. So often when something like that happens, we could go into making ourselves wrong. We can go into like, next time you do it, you could be like using that as a reference point, like, or, last time. And, so it's like that energy. So would you be willing to destroy and uncreate everything that brought up, the fact that, no people showed up? And actually, is it true that is it true? Hint, it's not true. Okay. Is it true that nobody showed up? You might want to ask for bodies and beings rather than just beings, because I'm just getting an awareness that there's probably quite a few beings at the class that didn't have bodies and that didn't pay or register, right? Does that feel light for you?
Maybe. I didn't know that then, but you're probably right.
See if it feels light for you. Yeah. That's what I'm just laughing because that's what I was getting, and I've had that happen too, and it's really interesting, right? And sometimes we keep our classes small because of that reason, because it's like crowded house, right? So in that case, you need to ask all the entities and beings without bodies that desire to come to class and be facilitated that they bring somebody with them. All right.
Yes. People bodies with money.
Yeah. Yeah. So how would it be if you had lots of people at your class?
Fun, I suppose.
Fun.
I think it would be fun.
Okay, so did you have fun when there weren't people there?
Not very much, no.
Not so much. Okay.
No, not so much.
So if you had no point of view, who showed up or whether anyone showed up, could you still have that vibrate, that, like, yay, I'm having a body process.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have gratitude that you got to have a body process, right? At the class. How does it get better than that? And like, what else did that actually create? It's really interesting because sometimes we put something out there and people see it, and I'm always having people that say, oh, I can't make those days, but they'll come and do another one. And so you never know what you're actually creating for your future. So how many of you, because I know a lot of you are in the future, right?
Mm.
So how many of you are actually creating for your future, but not for the now and the present? You might be creating for like in 5 years' time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to put on POC that, because we always do want to be creating for our future, but what if you could actually create for now and like this month and next month as well?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels like a lot of energy on that. It's like, I can feel it unwinding. Yeah, so everything that is, you create for your future, but you don't create for now, and it's always coming sometime, but it's not coming right now, right? Because the future's not here yet, which is actually not true either.
No.
Okay.
It's a long time ahead, so I don't have to do anything now.
Yeah, so
I can just wait.
Yeah, so let's just try and create all of that I just said.
Yeah,
Good,
super.
bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And like, how many of you are have separation between you and your future? Like, if you close your eyes and get a sense of like, where is your future, or like, where is, let's have like a kind of an end point. So like July 2020, where is that in relation to you in your body? And feel free if you want to pop something in the chat, everybody. And as we're working with like Natalie, not Natalie, as we're working with Kristen right now, I should have put my glasses on, right? I just come and squint at you close up. So as we're working with Kristen, we're working with everybody, right? So everything that this is bringing up for you, we're clearing that as well. So Jennifer's saying, spent too much time in my future, finally begin to create and be present for now. Yeah. So like, what would it be like to be present for now and for the future, right? Everything is now. There's no past, present, future, because there is no time. Okay. And I'm curious as well, because like, I know for me, like time, and in Access we talk about time and space, right? And we've got a bar for time and space. Well, like, how many of you have issues around time and space, which could show up like, you know, what Jennifer's saying in terms of, you know, the future? It could show up as in like being hopeless with time. It can show up in lots of ways. So what would it take to have ease with time, to have ease with space, to have ease with creating, and ease with receiving? Like, what if it was nothing to do with actually that, you know, you created this class but nothing, it didn't work, right? Maybe it's more about the receiving, not the creating, because we create in our heads, right? And we create energetically, so we've created it, no problem. Yeah, but have we actually received what we've created? Have we actually acknowledged what we've created? Like, even though it's not here yet in the physical, right? But it's like we've created the whole thing. Yeah. And so, like, to acknowledge that, you know, we have created, and then it's like, then we're creating more for ourselves. Yeah. And then the more we acknowledge, the more that we can receive, and then the more that we can create and acknowledge and receive. Yeah. So would you be willing to acknowledge all of your creations, including the piles of poo that you might have created? All right. Because like, yay, you created that. How amazing. Like, what else can you create? So acknowledge everything that you've created in your entire life, okay? Because we are creators of magnitude, amazing creators. And so, like, if you created that, then what else can you create? And what if you could out-create yourself? Okay, so everything that doesn't allow that, let's just try and uncreate it. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyonds. So I'm also creating classes. This is too funny and perfect, of course. I'm creating dance classes. Yay! I took 2, loved the first one, had fun, and got too wrapped up in making a living doing it for the second one that it wasn't fun. So yeah, everywhere you've decided that you can't have fun making money, that money, to make money, it's like hard work. Let's just try and uncreate all of that times a gazillion. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyonds. There's so many beliefs that we have around money and around creating, you know. I would say, you know, make a list of the beliefs. Like, one of the things that I do with theta is that we look at beliefs and we muscle test them, right? So it's really clear. We kind of can get quite specific and easily see it. Sometimes, you know, if we're kind of clearing generally, we don't know what's shifted and what hasn't. you know, or you might have an indication if something's not happening, or, you know, feeling stuck. You might, you know, recognize there's something going on there, but you don't know specifically what. If you actually test the beliefs, you kind of know what's going on and what you can change. And, you know, there's so many beliefs that are all stacked one on top of the other, that when you get to like the root belief, or like a, you know, a really big one, when you pull that one, it's kind of like everything comes down and you clear the slate. Yeah. So actually journaling is really useful, and you could write a list of the beliefs that you have around that. So we've talked about creating, the fact that we create energetically. Receiving, you know, if you're going to create something and you're opening up a channel for money to come to you and for you to actually, you know, create consciousness in the world, share your gifts in the world. So you need to be able to be received by others, and you also need to be able to receive money. Okay, unless you've got a lot of bodies without beings without bodies coming that don't pay you. So how good are you at receiving? So just get a sense of 0 to 10. Where are you with receiving? Like receiving people to classes, receiving money, receiving yourself even. That's another story. But let's go for like receiving, let's go for receiving money, right? So on a scale of 0 to 10, just whatever jumps in your mind. And just pop in the chat a number. 5. Cool. 8. 4 to 5. I had 8 as well. But that might have been somebody else's 8, right? Like I don't exist when I'm here. It's like, how's that mine? How about Jennifer? Jennifer's 5. Anna 8. Kristen D. What did you get? I'm gonna play with the energy. Okay, so we're gonna shift these energies and your ability to be able to receive. So just get a sense of yourself as the infinite being that you truly be. So expand your energies out and expand out into the room that you're in. And with every breath you take, expanding further and further out in every direction. So above you, beneath you, to the left, to the right, diagonally, 360 degrees. Expanding into your town, into the country that you're in, into this entire world, into the universe, into all the galaxies. I wonder how far we can expand. Where do we end? And so as you allow your energy to expand into the infinite being that you truly be, allow yourself to be connected with everything that is, and the infinite creator being that you truly be. Whee! That feels higher, doesn't it? So yeah, imagine you could be that joyful, right? And that connected with everything. And in that space of being the infinite being that you truly be, connected with all that is, what if you could just play with the energy and play with the molecules and play with the bodies and the beings that desire to come and play with you, right? So let's just be that invitation. Like, what energy, space and consciousness can you and your body and your business be to be the invitation for all of the bodies and the beings that desire to come and play with you, to find you? Like, what is going to be the invitation? Is the energy of invitation like, is that an invitation? That's not an invitation, right? So if we can be in our hearts and we can be joyful and no point of view, and it's like whatever happens is okay, like that's the invitation. That's the space, the possibility that we be, and it's also the invitation. Other people can feel that energy, right? So what energy, space and consciousness can you and your body, business and being be to be the invitation to joy and magic and miracles that you truly be. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So just tune in again and see, like, how much can you receive now on the scale of 0 to 10? Has it shifted? And let me know. So 8, from 4 to 5 to 8. Amazing. So that let's not go there with percentages because I'm not in my brain. So, but that's big improvement, right? So, like, what would it take to be 10? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and create? That'll be too much, right? If it's 10, always got to have room for improvement, right? You can never be perfect, because what happens if you're perfect? What happens if it was 10? Jennifer's at 8, so much better. Fantastic. How does it get better than that? Like, so what if it was 10 and not 8? What's the worst thing if it was 10? You could always go off the charts, right? It could always be like 12 or 20 out of 10. It could be naughty, because we like being naughty. 9 to 10, Anna says, I can play. Yeah, you can play. So, like, everywhere you've not given yourself permission to play, and everywhere you can't play for whatever reason, can we just try and uncreate that? Good, bad, right, wrong, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, so how much more fun can you have? 10 gets into root family beliefs and bits against some sturdy and hits against some sturdy edges. Okay, so everywhere you are limited by your family's beliefs, and everywhere you're unwilling to go beyond your family and beyond what they have, and everything that brings up or lets down, will you just try and uncreate all of that, please? Times a godzillion. Good and bad, right and wrong, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, so how many of you are trying to fit in and belong to your country, to the people in your town, to your family? Like, if your parents earn a certain amount of money and you earn more, would that be good or not? It might be good for you, but then it might not be, because it might not be good for somebody else, right? They might have some points of view around it. It's funny, actually. I was watching a little bit of, I caught a little bit of Meghan Markle's dad this morning being interviewed. And there was some talk there around money and what have you. And, you know, it's like we are picking up these thoughts and beliefs and energies and like our way of being and who we are, part of our identity, based on what we are experiencing from like 0 to 7 and beyond. But, you know, and even before that, because we're picking up and we're being imprinted when we're in our womb, in our mother's womb, right? And so if there were issues going on around receiving or money or, you know, work, and you have to work hard, etc., then we can pick that up, right? And so everything that is, let's clear some of that. If we don't clear it all, like, let's clear some of it. So would you be willing to let that go? Yeah, all of the imprinting, when you're in the womb, when you're a child, everything you picked up, everywhere you're biomimetically and biomimetrically mimicking your parents and their points of view, their lies, their stories, or any of your ancestors. We could be going back, you know, generations. Let's just try and uncreate all of that. Times a godzillion. Good, bad, right, wrong, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what else is possible beyond belonging, beyond fitting in, beyond not wanting to stand out? So how many of you are comfortable standing up? Like, if if it was 10, like, who would have points of view that that was too much? Like, who around you? Or maybe it's like sometimes it's just not anybody else, it's just like we think, oh, that if I have that, people won't like it, people will judge me. Like, who likes being judged? So Gary Douglas, founder of Access Consciousness, he says that if you're judged, if you receive a judgment, it's worth £5,000 to you. It's like, bring it on. And also, it's like, even if that feels uncomfortable to you, if you would be willing to, right? If you're willing to be judged, just the fact that you're willing to be judged is going to bring you more, okay? Because it's like everything we're not willing to be or do is what's stopping us, right? So we stop ourselves. So, there's so much around all of this, right? Because then we go into like all the places that we do stop ourselves, and what would happen if we were unstoppable and limitless, right? And that can bring up a whole load of other stuff. So there's like what it is that we're wanting to create, and like, how many of you are not even asking for what you really want? You're asking for what you think you can get. Yeah. So, like, how many people would you like to have a class? How much money would you like to make, right? add a naught. Like, what would happen if you asked, what comes up for you if you asked for, I don't know, like, let's say $1 trillion, pounds, euros, put it in your currency. What would it be if you asked for that? What comes up for you around that? Let me know in the chat. And who else wants to speak for me? Don't be shy. What would you like to create? Yeah. So Jennifer says, yes, but it's getting easier. So, what if it was like, what if asking for £1 million or £1 trillion was no different to asking for £10? And again, put that in your currency. Because it's like really interesting what happens, right? When you, well, for me, like with UK pounds, and then thinking about probably any other currency, it's usually like higher numbers, So like, maybe not with all of them. I'm thinking, let's take something like, I've got a friend who's Danish. So basically, it's like 10 times my UK currency. So when she says a figure, I'm like, gosh, that's a lot, right? In my head, but then I've got to work it out. So, like, if you get used to playing with the different currencies, right? And you get used to like adding a naught, it's just a number, right? It's so interesting, kind of like where our head goes and like where we stop ourselves and where we're creating these limitations and these patterns. So, how many of you actually like money? Because here's the thing, is like, so you're asking for like, you want to create classes, but truth, is that really what you want? Or like, and it may be, and it's like, is that all that you want? Or are you wanting to create classes, make whatever amount of money, blah, 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 blah. There's like lots of things that you want, but if you're just asking for that one thing, yeah. So how much do you like, love, or hate money? Everything that is, we just join and create it. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So yeah, like, what does money mean to you? I couldn't lip read that one. Do it again. Freedom. Yay. Yeah. So like lots of the really common ones are freedom and security, choice. People think money gives them choice, freedom, security, happiness, because they can do whatever they want to. Yeah. So all of those are just stories, right? You don't need to have money in order to have any of that. So you can be free, you can be secure, you can be happy. Yeah. You always have choice, right? Without requiring money. Yeah. And you actually know what, somebody here has probably got some insane point of view that's like, well, no, you can't. So everything that is, would you destroy and uncreate it? Compare right one pop pop when I shorts poison beyond. Like, you can't pay your money, you can't pay your bills without money, you can't do whatever, you know. But it's like, it's not like we have to be without it, okay? But it is just energy, okay? So in order to actually have the coins, or preferably the notes, right, or the zeros on your bank statement, in order to have that, it's first got to be energetically created. So if you're not even willing to ask for it, or, you know, dream of, or think, you know, oh, what would it be like to have £1 million or £1 trillion? Like, how many noughts does that even have, right? And like, what would you spend that on? Okay, so it's like, if you're not willing to go there, then it's kind of like not happening. Or if it did happen, you'd end up sabotaging it. Like, how many people win the lottery and their wealth consciousness, their money consciousness is not vibrating at that frequency? So the money comes in and then it's like gone, frittered away, or, you know, something happens. There's a story. So there's lots of evidence around that happening. So like, what if you loved money and you had no points of view about money, or you had points of view about money that it was like amazing? What would that create in your now and in your future? Just get a sense of that. Like, to me, that's just like, that feels really light, really expansive. Yeah. And then get a sense of like your current reality with money, your relationship with money. That that feels like a little bit less expansive, wee bit contracted, right? So like, instead of being like that, it could be like, hey. So if you are madly in love with money, right, what would be different? How would it come to you? How often would it come and visit you? How often? Yeah, so you look at that energy, it's like, ooh, so that's exciting. Like, now we're in love all over again. So like, what if you could be in love with money? Because I think, you know, often that I have a huge background, you know, in terms of like, as a spiritual teacher, and so like, there's this huge big unconscious split in the collective unconscious between money and spirituality, right? And it's like, well, if I do what I love and I'm not having to work hard for it, it's like, I can't really receive money for it, or if I do, you know, it's like not so much. Yeah, because it's easy for me and I enjoy it, you know. So we have all these insane points of view and beliefs and energies that, you know, don't even have words, and so therefore we are often in like resistance or reaction to money and with money. So how much conflict do you have with money and with receiving, right? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pock, or no shorts, boys and beyonds. I love to think about money as energy and creation that feels lighter, clearer, aligned to source. Yeah, and also, you know, it is energy. And one of the things that sometimes happens with that kind of point of view is that it's like a bypass. It's a way of avoiding having cash in your hands. Like, it's like, you know, money's bad, therefore let's think of it as energy and then we can receive it. But like, yeah. Does that resonate? Did I catch you out there? Just laughing. Yeah, I know that one. I've done it myself. So like, what would it take to like, show me the money? Yes, I love money. There's nothing wrong with money. It's fantastic, right? It's amazing. Who liked Monopoly? I loved Monopoly. And you know, like when you're kids or when you're playing a game, it's like, it's cool, right? It's like you can be as greedy as you want to be. It's like you get all the houses and it's like, yay, ka-ching, ka-ching. Yeah. I like slot machines and the sound of fruit machines. Not that I'm a gambler. Well, not strictly true. But yeah, not with fruit machines so much. But yeah, that noise, it's like lovely. It's like music to my ears. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Like, you know, when you were kids and you had like, what is it? Like a till. The tills make that noise. Ka-ching, every time the money goes in. Like, what if you had that energy with money, right? And that is, it's fun and it's a game and it's light and it's not like serious and like it's really hard, like I was today with my accounts and spreadsheets. I was like, ooh, I was disappearing into these little boxes of spreadsheets. So yeah, what if we had that infinite being with money? I haven't got it to hand now, but I often channel or journal, and you can talk to money, right? And it was really interesting that, like, I wrote to money, and then money wrote back to me. And like, money just was so light; it just didn't care. It was like, whatever you want, my love. I'm here for you, and this, and this, and this. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god. And it's like, I do like money, and but I had a little bit of this kind of, what Jennifer was saying about kind of like, it's energy and whatever. But it always like, it was very, it's kind of subtle, but I could kind of catch, yeah, do you know what? Like, that's just bullshit, because actually having it in your hand, right? It's like, it's all very well with, sometimes to me, and this is my interesting point of view, but it's been like, if I think of money just as energy, as a bit of a resistance or a get out clause, it's like it doesn't feel real. And so it's kind of like everything is energy, right, in whatever dimension. But here on planet Earth, 3D dimension, money is manifesting in the way of coins and notes, or zeros in your bank account, or products, services, etc., etc. Yeah. So it's like in this reality, not up there somewhere, pie in the sky, So everything that brings up or lets down, well, then you just try and create it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pop, no shorts, boys and beyond. So Jennifer says, you're cracking me up. You completely called out my bullshit. Yeah, cool. I love calling out bullshit, including my own. I'm not always as light-hearted, but it's my own bullshit, mind you. But that's another story. Sometimes I can be, it depends, right? But that's the thing, is like, if we make our bullshit serious, then we just lock it in place. So everywhere you've made it so serious and like you're a complete fuck up, you've, blah, 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 then you can't create anything greater, right? You've defined yourself. So everywhere you defined yourself based on what you've created so far, all right, or based on what you haven't created so far, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pop, all those shorts, boys and beyonds. And this is also like your ancestors. So when we're clearing, I mean, a lot when I'm working with Vita, we have conversations with the ancestors coming in, and they've got all their stories, right? And they've got stuff that's unresolved, and it's in our genetics and whatever. We've got stuff on the history level, past lives and so forth, or programming in spirit. Yeah. So it's all of these layers that we're clearing. And what if it could be fun? It's not like we have to spend all day clearing, right? We run the clearings. And sometimes it's like we're clearing the wrong thing, right? We think it's about this. Oh, we've got this problem with money and it's because of this. It's to do with that, right? So we clear that, but actually it's nothing to do with that. Yeah? Nothing to do with money. It's to do with us. It's to do with the fact that we can't receive. We don't feel worthy, or, if we receive, it makes us weak, or whatever, stupid belief, whatever we've got running. Yeah. So how many of you are doing everything you can to avoid money? And everything that brings up or lets down when you just try and uncreate it. Good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, pop, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Natalie, what would you like to create, my darling? Everywhere you're hiding from life, hiding from money, hiding from the reality that you desire to create, will you destroy and uncreate it? Good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, buckle, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so get a sense of money and where is money in relation to you. Where's money in relation to you? Let me know in the chat. I'm laughing. Jennifer says, I made a commitment to embrace life more this year, make decisions from a point of power and love. It feels scary, but better than staying scared. I'm kind of like, what? It feels scary, but it's better than staying scared. But so you were scared and you're still scared, but it's better than the scared that you were before. Everything that is, we destroy and create it. Good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, parkour, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, so everywhere you're half focused, right? Half-assed, we destroy and uncreate. Good and bad, right and wrong, bottom, parkour, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I'm joking, but that might have been a typo, right? But actually, how many of us are doing that? Yeah, I include myself in it as well. Like, we think we're changing, but actually it's just the same bullshit, but just different, there's different words, slightly different. It's like we're modifying the bullshit, right? So everywhere you're modifying the bullshit rather than actually creating the change that you desire, would you destroy and uncreate it? Good, bad, right, wrong, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, no, better than staying in the same pattern. Well, yeah, it would be if you'd actually change the pattern, but that's what it is. Like, everywhere it's the same pattern, right? Just a different colour. Actually, I do that a lot with clothes. If I find something I like, I buy the same dress or the same top in different colours. Good, bad, right, wrong, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyonds. I'm okay with it, actually, but it's like we can be doing that in life, yeah, in other areas. So everywhere we're just changing the colour, but we're not creating greater or just stuck in that loop. So all of the Mobius strips and all of the Archimedean spirals that are keeping us looping and looping, loop-de-looping, and holding all of these patterns in place so that everything stays the same and it never changes. It's the same pattern. Everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyonds. So, what else do you want to create? Have you actually got a list of what you want to create? How many of you have got a list of the energies that you want to be being or experiencing? So, like, I want to have more joy, I want more excitement, more comfort was one that I chose, and that's been like, will be. I've got a bit of a bed story going on at the minute. Like, we got new sofas and they're much more comfortable, so like my body is so much happier with recliner and new bed. And I felt like a princess because my bed is much higher now, the mattress. They actually delivered the wrong mattress, but that's another story. The wrong bed and the wrong mattress. So my Pegasus is not yet with me, but there we go. So it's just interesting, right? Because it's like I was up leveling, and in some way I know I created that whole drama, even though it was their mess up. It's like I created that. And so, like, where are you, when you are creating change and you are up leveling, that you kind of limit it or stop it, or you have some big drama around it, because it's like, it's too much. So when I got into bed with this new bed, I was like, oh, this bed's like really high up and I feel like a princess. And I was like, oh my God, what's that? What crazy is that? But it kind of felt good as well. But I was just like laughing at myself with all of that going on. It's like, it's just a bed and it's a bit higher, right? But now I feel like a princess because my bed's all up. So I don't know how old I was being, but it's just really interesting, yeah, to watch ourselves and to just laugh at it rather than make it a problem. It's like, okay, well, you know, it's fun, but it's so nice as well to get out of bed and almost like I just slip off the bed. It's so much ease. So I've got so much ease, so much more comfort. And like I want ease, joy, and I want comfort and excitement. Yeah. So those are the energies that I'm inviting. Yeah. So if you invite those energies rather than the specific amount that it is you want, you know, in money, or, you know, all the details of the house that you'd like to actualize or the relationship you'd like to actualize, keep it general, and then life can surprise you and delight you. Because often we say we want something and then when we've got it, we're like, actually, it's okay, but it's not exactly what I wanted, or I don't actually enjoy this. And it could be something else that, you know, like what our heart really wants is what we want, right? We want to be fulfilled, we want to be happy and joyful. And it's not the house, it's not the relationship, it's not any of those things that actually bring us that joy and that happiness, right? That's a choice. We can have that with or without the thing. So as much as we can be in that vibration of being connected with the heart and feeling that life is a gift and a joy, yeah, and being able to choose. So everything that doesn't allow you to choose and everything that doesn't allow you to have your reality rather than be at the impact of others and their reality and their bullshit and their beliefs and stories, or your own, everything that is can be destroyed and uncreate it. Good, bad, right, wrong, pop, pop, on nine shots, boys and beyonds. So like expanding out is just such an amazing tool to expand out and be the infinite being that you be. Then you're not at the impact, you are the creator, right? And you know, you can then play with the molecules and create magic. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you about a program that I've got coming up that is kind of like what we've been doing on this course and what we've been doing. So it's Create Your Greatest Future, which includes your present. So it's like in whatever area of your life that is. So we're looking at the art of creation, we're looking at, you know, possibilities and how we actually energetically create, the ways that we stop ourselves, how we can up level our receiving, our creation. You know, there's going to be clearings in the program, there's going to be some tools and some energetics, there's going to be you know, a community group where we all come together and we can contribute to one another's lives and businesses and so forth. Amplify that energy. There's going to be all kinds of like fun and magic processes that we're going to be doing, and it's going to be kind of like we're going to do it in February. It's going to be like an ongoing program, so you can kind of like, often what I've noticed is that when I go to a workshop or when I go to a seminar or a retreat, like I get into the energy of something and then it's like at some point, you know, usually not that long afterwards, it kind of loses its momentum. So actually what I've found is that when we're working in groups, a lot of the energy is amplified. We've got that whole kind of collaboration, creative energy happening and contributing to one another. And so that's kind of like what I wanted to create, was so that we can actually have that forward momentum and sustain it, all right? Because that's what I think 2020 is about. It's about that sustainable living, yeah? Often when we kind of are trying to force things and make things happen, what happens is we burn ourselves out energetically, yeah? It's like we're pushing rather than allowing ourselves to be in flow and in harmony with the universe, and being that invitation, allowing ourselves to receive, yeah? And I think that's all part of that energy of not allowing ourselves to receive and, you know, making it hard work. It's just like, how many more blocks can we put in front of actually creating what lights us up? Because when we're lit up, then we're bringing that light, that joy to the world, right? Whatever it is that we're doing. And even when we're not doing, right, we're being, and in the being we're also, you know, doing for the planet, for one another. We're creating that collective vibration. So if you want to find out more about that program, then I should be really well prepared and have a link, and I don't, but drop me an email or put something on Facebook and I'll let you know more about it. It is actually on Facebook as an event. I think it's the 2nd of February, which is kind of like Imbolc. So there's this energy of like, now we're ready to, you know, there's lots of new energies available to us right now. But it's like they're wanting to be anchored, right? Their want is for us to embody those energies and to plant the seeds. And, you know, the possibility that is available to us, that I'm aware of, is that there's so much more magic, all right? There's so much more joy, so much more ease for us to be able to create whatever it is that we're here to create, okay? And it isn't like what we're, as I said, those words, like what we're here to create. So like a lot of people are talking about their soul purpose, and I do believe that we, you know, our soul does have purposes at time, but it's like, well, if you don't, not sure what your purpose is, it's like, well, what do you want to do? What do you kind of feel like, what's grabbing your attention right now? Yeah. We have a choice in terms of what we're here to be and do on this planet, right? And the most important thing is to be in joy. Yeah. And when we're in joy, then we are the gift. All right. So if you have any questions or anything you want to say just before we finish up, then feel free. Oh, thank you, darling. You're on the ball. There is a link in the chat so you can click, find out about the program. How amazing is it? You see, you don't, if you think you have to be perfect and have it all together, you don't, right? Because I'm clearly not all together today. So yeah, let me know if you've got any questions about that. I'd love to have you come and play and join me with that if it feels like it's light for you and it would be fun for you and a contribution to you. Ask your body. Always good to ask your body when you're making choices, right? It's like, what would this, you know, what will life be like in 5 years if I, you know, do this program, or if I buy this certain thing, or if I make this choice, what will that contribute to my life? Get a sense of the energy, whether it's light or if it's heavy, and then check if it's heavy, is that like, what are the points of view you have around it? I know sometimes, you know, like there's certain things and it kind of like, oh, I'm not sure I want to do that. It's like, no. And then it's like, that's my, it's very silent, but very interesting points of view that are, you know, around it. And when I look at that and clear those, it's like, I actually really like to do something, you know. So trust your knowing, ask your body, follow the energy with that. And if you've got any questions, then let me know. Is it a 12-month program? It's kind of, it could be whatever it will be. It's basically it's a monthly program, and you can cancel at any time. So that it's not like you have to do 12 months. And of course, you know, if it's working for you and you're having fun with it and it's creating more, then why wouldn't you? That's my intention, is that it is a gift and a contribution to you, and that you're receiving amazing value from it. I kind of felt like, you know, one of the things I do lots of different things, and you know, we have so many different ideas, and it's kind of like, I know people get better results when they're in like something that's, you know, continuing, rather than just like a one-off, or, you know, one hour class or 4 weeks or whatever. Sure, you're going to get amazing shifts and things will clear in 4 weeks, right? Or in an hour call. And like, what can you create beyond that when you're kind of committed? So it's that energy of that. But it's like, I'm not, you know, you're free to come and, you know, do it for a month. And if you want to renew, then great, would love that. And if not, then you can cancel at any time. Yeah. So I hope that answers that question. But yeah, stay as long as you wish to, or not. Do what works for you. Yeah. And you know, like, what would it take? I've been really looking at this question of like, what would it take for me to truly commit to my life, right? And my living and my business and all of that. And often we have points of view around that. It's like, it's going to be hard work, or we have to be consistent, or blah 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 blah. It's like, there's no formula, there's no particular way to create. It's finding out how you create and how that works for you, and doing what works. And that's what we're going to be exploring. So it's not like I'm going to give you a formula. I've got, you know, I'm a business coach. I've got 30 years working with spirit and channeling and connecting and working with bodies and so forth, and in business. And, you know, if you've got a question, I might give you my interesting point of view. If you need it, want it, I've got business modules, right, in other programs. So that, you know, I have a little strategy, and the intuition is where it's at. Like, lots of people, it's really about connecting with your intuition. It's about following the energy, trusting yourself, being able to receive, owning your worth and your value, being confident in yourself. So those are kind of like, we'll work on the energetics. I call them business energetics. So we'll work with the business energetics. we'll work with some magic and some molecules, and I'll be incorporating probably, different modalities or different tools that we can play with. Because why do we want to limit ourselves? So it's like whatever it is that's going to work. So there'll be some, lots of clearings and energetics, some tools, probably some Facebook Lives and things. I'm kind of like an overgiver a lot of the time. But I'm enjoying it. It's like I want to be in there. I want you to get as much as you can from it, right? So what can we create together? That's what I want to, be in that question of what can we create? What would be possible? Like, how amazing can it be, right? So check that out, click on that link or drop me a message. That would be great. What I thought we'll do to finish up is that we will do an energy pool, okay, for 2020. So and energy pools are great, and do them frequently, okay? So just relax back into your heart and just allow yourself to receive the contribution of the earth and the contribution that the earth is to your body. And allow yourself to acknowledge the contribution that you are to the earth. Acknowledge the contribution that your body is to your being and that your being is to your body. And then just allow yourself to expand your energy out again, just in case it's contracted. So expanding out into the infinite being that you truly be. And what if it could just be like that? Okay, boom, infinite being. And everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate. Good, bad, bad, wrong, pop, and shorts, and beyonds. So as the infinite being that you truly be, connected with everything that is, every single molecule, atom, particle. What is truly possible for you, your life, your living, your business, your body, your relationship, your money flow, all of life, now and for the future. And it just felt like there was even there, as infinite beings, was like a little window opened up a little bit further, more space, more infinite being, right? Every time we ask a question, so like, what question can you be for all eternity? To be creating more consciousness, more space, more possibility, and everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Right, one good, bad, pop, call 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So just get a sense of the energies that you would like to be living. The joy, the magic, that sense of gratitude, fulfillment, the ease, the comfort, the abundance, the communion, the community, the collaboration, the creativity, whatever it is for you. Getting a sense of the energies that you desire to play with, that you desire to be in the world. And allowing yourself to feel them now in your body. Like, where in your body can you feel joy? Where in your body can you feel excitement or space? That creativity popping up. Just feeling into that now. And then get a sense of perhaps the physical things that you want to create. So maybe more spacious home, maybe more money, maybe you've got a figure in terms of how much you can create. Maybe it's travel or relationships, health, whatever it is that you desire to create. Just getting a sense of that and just noticing how it feels, noticing what's different now that you have that in your universe, your reality. And then sending out an invitation as you're connecting with all of the molecules everything is. Sending out an invitation to anyone and anything and everything that desires to create what you're creating, or can contribute to what you're creating, you can contribute to. Just inviting them to come and play, inviting them to follow the energies, which is sending out little trickles of those energies of joy, of excitement, enthusiasm, ease, fun, and to see them going out in all directions, to the people, the places and the spaces, those that you know, those that you don't know, people that are going to come to your classes, those that already know you and those that don't know you, you don't know how they're going to find you, but they just show up, right? As if by magic. Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and create it. Good, bad, right, wrong, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyond. So just lower your barriers and all of your hidden barriers. Just allow yourself to receive these beautiful connections, these beautiful energies, trickles of energies, floods of energies even. What would it take to receive a flood of money? Tsunami of people at your classes. Like, what if you could receive anything and everything with ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Good, bad, right, wrong, good, popcorn, shorts, boys and beyond. So just allowing these energies to gift and receive. So the energy is trickling out, going out to all these beings, bodies, places, spaces, opportunities, connecting with all these molecules and atoms, and energies coming into your body. Allow it to come into your body and through your body and black out trickles of energy, and then just allow it to speed up, to go as fast as it desires to go, so that you're not in control. What would that be like, I wonder? What if you could have so much fun that you didn't need to have to control it, right? And everywhere you're unwilling to be out of control and have way too much fun, you just try and create good, bad, right, wrong, good, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyond. So just feel these energies flowing and know that they can continue to flow. Like, what if every day was a communion with everything that is? And what if you were in joyful communion and you had magic and miracles every day? Okay, that it was a constant gifting and receiving. There was no separation, no stopping, continuous flow. Like, what would that create for you? So just allowing these energies to flow as they were. Knowing that you're connected with everything that is. Know that all of life comes to you with ease, joy and glory. All of money comes to you with ease, joy and glory. All of sex comes to you with ease, joy and glory. Everything comes to you with ease, joy and glory. And what if you could follow the energy and all this beautiful beings, places, spaces, opportunities, atoms, molecules that desire to come play with you, to contribute to you, collaborate with you? What if they could follow the energy and they could find you? Everything that doesn't allow that to show up, let's just try and create. Right, wrong, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyond. And what if you could actually be the energy flow, the energy pull, the creative magnitude that you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that, destroy and uncreate it. Good, bad, right, wrong, popcorn and shorts, boys and beyonds. So, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can keep the magic. You can keep those beautiful connections, communions and flows, both within you and around you, so that you can feel that connection in your body. It's in your body, it's around you, it's everywhere, flowing. How much fun could you have? And how much fun are you willing to have? Okay. I hope that you've enjoyed this evening. It's been a contribution to you, and it's gifted you in miraculous ways that you haven't even realised. And how does it get any better than this? What else is possible for us and for these people planning? I hope to see you. If you haven't yet signed up to the newsletter, you can sign up on kimberleylovell.com. There's also some lovely free resources there that you might enjoy. If you have a question, you can find me on Facebook, my business page, or I've got a group, Wealthy Business Goddess group. Come and play with us there. And till I see you again, much love, and have way too much fun. Lots of love to you. Bye for now.